Hi, I'm Brinda, and this is my response to discussion 8, ethnomedicine. The article I read is Swallowing Frogs, and the title of my article, it basically means it's like a metaphor or a way of expressing like suppressing your emotions, and it was used by Northeast Brazilian women, basically meaning like swallowing your anger or like putting up with unfair treatment silently, putting up with it. How is illness diagnosed based on your article? So in the article, they talked about illness being diagnosed by like several different ethnomedical and social experiments, and they view illness as like a consequence of emotional distress, meaning like if you, especially for people who suppress their anger, they end up with certain symptoms. And an example would be like a woman who's not able to face or suppress their anger after they face something like a betrayal or humiliation or like severe annoyance or anger, they would get diagnosed with something like nervos, which was basically like trembling, shaking, crying, weakness, stuff like that. And so like the purpose of that, like those types of diagnoses, is to just reflect how hard it is to suppress your emotions, and it's to give an importance or a value to your emotional regulation. And so as for a new perspective, it was a very interesting read in my opinion, and like it opened up my eyes to the fact that healthcare and like your personal health is not just a matter of biology and physiology and like illness and pathogens and stuff like that. It can also be due to social like expectations, and just like expressing your anger and expressing your feelings is a very important part of your mental health and your physical health. Part B. Okay, so what do the people of Amazon know that I don't? I definitely saw that the shamans of Amazon, the Amazon forest, have a very deep and specific knowledge of like the local plants and how exactly they help humans and their health. And I feel like that's the perspective that Western medicine lacks currently. And examples, so one of the examples was Mark discussing that he had an injury to his foot, and when he went to the Amazon forest, a shaman sat down with him and he treated him with a fern plant, and also like gave him a fern tea to drink, and immediately Mark's pain went away for 7 months. And he said that was something that Western medicine couldn't help him with, but the Amazon people helped him a lot with that. And then another thing that the Amazonians know that we don't is, one of the shamans was saying that basically the thing is that not all illness shows up physically as like symptoms. It can also be an illness of the heart or like an emotional situation. So one of the healers in the video was saying that he can cure diseases of the mind and the heart and the spirit, unlike people in Western medicine. And then an example of an animal that they talked about was the green monkey frog, and they said that the frog's skin has certain peptides and proteins that can help treat high blood pressure or hypertension, as well as certain infections that don't go away with like drugs and Western medicine, which I thought was really cool. The gold rush in the Amazon was basically when there was a huge global need for rubber, and especially natural rubber, in the 1900s, so the 20th century. There was a huge global rush. People were trying desperately to get this rubber, which led to the ultimate exploitation of these indigenous peoples. And basically different companies who needed the rubber would be massacring these indigenous people left and right just for the chase, just for the hunt of natural rubber. And they would also enslave these tribes and force them to like work for them, basically. What does Mark say about the people who live in the Amazon today? In the video, he says that indigenous cultures are disappearing faster than the forests themselves. And he also says that the tribes that are at most risk for being endangered are the isolated tribes who don't communicate with others, which I thought was very unfortunate to hear. And then something I would like to know more about, I thought it was a very interesting video, and I'm really interested in figuring out how Western medicine could learn and incorporate from Amazonian medicine, and I want to know how we can incorporate more like nature-based solutions into Western healthcare. Thank you.